I got 68.
Yeah, he ain't stand beside He's walking everyone, buddy.
Works really well. Good morning.
Okay, good to go.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're just going to need your attention here for a second, Mayors. All right, good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you all here today alongside our Premier, Doug Ford, of course, the Minister of Finance, Peter Bethlenfalvy, the Minister of Transportation, Prabmeet Sarkaria. We've got Lauren Coe in the House, the MPP for Whitby, Todd McCarthy, the Minister of Environment, Conservation, Parks, and the MPP for Durham, and a series of strong mayors, and of course our regional chair who's joined us today. Thank you all for being with us, for your leadership as we work together to make life more affordable for the people of Ontario. Today, our economy is under threat at the hands of our biggest trading ally and partner, and we must do everything possible in our power to protect our province and our people. And we've said this many times before, and you've heard our Premier say it, it reigns true today. The status quo cannot stand. If we want to seize this moment and protect our jobs and keep energy costs down for our families, we must act decisively. It was just days ago that we were proud to announce the start of the first small modular reactor construction in the G7 right here in Durham, a note of pride for all Canadians. It was just a few months before that we authorized a plan to see Ontario Power Generation sign contracts valued at over $1 billion, creating hundreds of jobs here at home to help refurbish and expand nuclear energy generation across the province and world. And at a time when there are others that cower from action, this government is running towards it. We're creating and driving that economic opportunity to help ensure all Ontarian workers get on their 2 feet. So in this challenging moment, with the President taking aim at our economy, Canadians are looking for action, they're looking for solutions. And they want Canadian jobs made with Canadian steel and Canadian concrete to come first. And that's something this government has unapologetically delivered. It's why we opposed the carbon tax from the beginning. It's why we repeatedly cut the gas tax time and time again, because Ontarians shouldn't have to decide between eating and heating in the winter like they did just a few years ago under the Liberals. If you are looking for a nation-building strategy to safeguard and protect the livelihoods of Canadians and create better jobs, our Premier, Doug Ford, has a plan. And to help make this plan a reality, it is now my honor to introduce a true champion when it comes to fighting for affordability, reducing gridlock, the Honourable Minister of Transportation, Prabmeet Singh Sarkaria. Thank you all so very much.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Minister Lecce, for your kind introduction and all the work that you are doing. And it's great to be here with Premier Ford, Minister Bethlenfalvy, Minister McCarthy, and also MPP Lauren Coe, who's been a true champion for Durham and a lot of what is going to be announced today as well, and all of our municipal colleagues that are here as well. We've got some exciting news that will make life more affordable and convenient for Ontario drivers. Our government has always made it a priority to keep costs down so you can keep more of your hard-earned money. Last year, we automated license plate renewals, saving millions of vehicle owners valuable time. We froze fees for road tests and driver knowledge tests, in addition to freezing fees for driver's licenses. But our work is not done, and we need to continue to make life more affordable for the people of Ontario. As workers and businesses across the province feel the impact of U.S. tariffs, it has never been more important to use every tool in our toolbox to keep costs down. Today, we are taking the next step in our work to protect Ontario and stand up for drivers. We're putting money back in your pockets and making it more affordable for anyone behind the wheel. With that said, I will turn it over to Minister Bethlenfalvy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone, and welcome to Pickering. And it's always great to see you here, Premier, here in the great city of Pickering. It's a pleasure to be here again, of course, as the member for Provincial Parliament from Pickering-Uxbridge, and my colleagues, Mr. Lecce, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Sarkaria, but also the great mayors that we have in Durham, and Regional Chair John Henry, Oshawa Mayor Dan Carter, Clarington Mayor Adrian Foster, all the way from Uxbridge, He likes to call it Uxbridge Pickering, but it's Pickering Uxbridge. The great Mayor of Uxbridge, Dave Barton. And last but not least, according to him, is the Mayor of Pickering, Kevin Ash. So thank you for joining us here. And thank you for your leadership as well. We can't do it alone. We need good partners, and you've been terrific partners in your communities to get Ontario moving. And our government knows that families have felt the rising cost of everyday items for some time now. First, as a result of high inflation, high interest rates, and now because of tariffs. Today, we are facing a challenge unlike anything we have ever faced before. Our closest ally, the United States, has imposed tariffs on us, creating economic uncertainty and once again driving up costs for families. That is why now, more than ever, it is necessary that we do more to protect Ontario, including our families, our workers, our businesses, and our economy. Since day one, our government has been laser focused on finding ways to put more money in people's pockets, to help families keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. And our track record of putting money back in people's pockets is strong. We save daily transit commuters an average of $1,600 each year through our One Fare program. We've helped individuals and families manage the impacts of high costs and high interest rates by providing eligible adults and children $200 through our taxpayer rebate. And we scrapped license plate stickers and fees and eliminated the tolls on the 412 and the 418 right here in Durham. And I know that the residents here in my riding of Pickering Uxbridge will welcome the news being announced today. In a few days, I'll have the honor of releasing our 2025 budget. It's a plan to protect Ontario. In it, I will outline how our government is taking decisive action to grow Ontario's economy and its people, how we're doing more to lower costs for hardworking families, and it's a plan to keep costs down, to support workers, families, and businesses in every corner of our province. Now, it's my great honor and pleasure. Some of you might call him Mr. Ontario, but many call him Mr. Canada, the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford.
Oh, boy. Oh, he makes me laugh. What a great team we have. And good morning, everyone. And it's great to be here in Pickering. And I'm just going to run through it one more time here. I'm delighted to be joined by Minister Bethlenfalvy, Sarkaria, McCarthy, and Lecce, and MPP Lauren Coe. I always say he's the best dressed guy anywhere at Queen's Park and here. It's also great to be here with so many of the great mayors. You know, mayors play such a critical role working with the province, and I couldn't ask for better mayors than we have in Durham. And again, I'm just going to repeat it. We have the great Mayor Ash from Pickering, Mayor Carter from Oshawa, Mayor Foster from Clarington, and Durham Regional Chair John Henry. And guys, help me out. I think I'm missing. There's about 8 of you over there. Who's that? Mayor Barton. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Mayor Barton's a champion too. And we're so grateful to be hosted by Adriana, CEO of 407 East Development Group, as well as Jeff and all their colleagues here. They're doing a great job. Since day one, our government has been focused on putting more money back into the pockets of the families right here in Durham Region and across the hard-working taxpayers of Ontario. It's simple. We believe that taxpayer money belongs to the taxpayers, not to the government, and so every chance we get, we're giving taxpayers back more of what's theirs. Over the last few years, our focus on keeping costs down has been so important as families struggled with the cost of high inflation and record interest rates. That's why at every opportunity, our government has cut taxes, frozen and removed government fees, and handed money back to families. We fought the job-killing federal carbon tax until it was finally removed this year. We banned new road tolls, and we gave $200 rebates back to every taxpayer and eligible child in the province. We also cut the license sticker fee, froze fees for driver's licenses and photo ID cards, and ended the Drive Clean program. All told, our measures for drivers have put over $1.8 billion back in the pockets of taxpayers annually. As a result, Ontario families now have thousands of dollars more every single year that they can use to buy groceries, to fill up their cars, to pay their mortgage and look after their kids. But now, in the face of President Trump's tariffs, which are rising the cost of everyday essentials, we need to do even more. So today, I'm announcing that as part of our upcoming budget, our government will be making our temporary cuts to gas and fuel tax rates permanent. Absolutely. Saving households on an average of about $115 per year going forward. That builds on the $1.7 billion our government has saved families since the temporary gas and fuel tax cuts were first introduced in July of 2022. And we're not stopping there. We're here next to the 407 East in Durham, which is the largest stretch of provincially owned tolled highway in Ontario. Today, I'm pleased to announce that starting June the 1st, 2025, tolls from Brock Road to Highway 35-115 are coming off the 407. Okay. That means that just in a few short weeks, once the legislation is passed, there'll not be one single publicly owned tolled highway left in Ontario. And that's thanks to our government's ban on new road tolls in the province. There will never, ever be a road toll in Ontario again. This change will save daily commuters up to $7,200 every single year. And yeah, that's huge. $7,200. And help clear up gridlock on surrounding roadways so drivers and families can get around faster. It's real, immediate relief that will help the people of Ontario face down whatever comes our way. Folks, this is just the latest step in our plan to protect Ontario by keeping costs down and making Ontario more competitive than ever before. We're going to keep looking for ways to lower costs and cut fees and taxes so taxpayers can keep more of what they earn. Thank you so much, and God bless the people of Ontario.
We will now take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question.
Yeah, that's great. Before I start, I just want to compliment Jamie with that new haircut. The guy looks like Dapper Dan. He cleans up well. This guy's sharp as a tack. Yeah, he'll be the new wingman. Sorry, he's looking sharp. But okay, guys, let's get started.
Premier Sean Jefford, CBC
Hey, Sean.
Toronto. I wanted to ask you about Honda. We understand overnight in an investors call they said they're going to pause that EV plant they had planned for the province, the 4 plants, for 2 years. What's your reaction, and are you concerned that that pause could turn into a permanent cancellation?
Well, when I've talked to Honda, they've promised us they're going to continue on with their expansion. They're going to keep that facility moving forward. So we'll just see how that moves forward, but we're very confident that we'll continue producing Honda vehicles here in Ontario.
Premier, what's the status of the federal and provincial commitment, the $5 billion that was announced last year? And are you concerned that there's a broader chill right now in the auto sector about investing in Canada because of Trump and tariffs?
Yeah, well, we're going to hold them accountable, each auto manufacturer. Anything that we've given them, we're going to make sure that they're held accountable and they continue manufacturing automobiles right here in Ontario. We have the best auto workers anywhere in the world. Every single plant, no matter what brand it is, we outproduce our American counterparts and around the world. So we have the best production lines, the most efficient production lines, the highest quality when it comes to producing vehicles. So I encourage more companies to come here and open up.
Hey, Premier, it's John Woodward from CTV News. This could be for you, could be for the Transportation Minister. We're following up on the relatively recent news that Carfax has warned their data shows there could be over 100,000 fraudulently registered cars in Canada, many of them in Ontario, with VINs taken from exported cars, plastered on stolen cars, and ultimately resold at dealerships here in Ontario. I wondered, how concerned are you about that, and what is the province doing to make sure that customers aren't unsuspected, customers aren't buying stolen cars?
Well, before I pass it over to the minister, we take that seriously, like any crime. Again, what I've been saying, when we catch these people, they need to go to jail. When they don't go to jail, there's no consequences. They think they can continue doing this. And that's why we're going to hire tough on crime judges that are going to keep people in jail, and they're going to pay the price. So their buddies outside are going to hear they're in jail, and they're going to stop, trying to steal and scam and weasel people of Ontario. We're going to come down hard on them, but I'll pass it over to the minister.
Thank you very much, Premier. And just to add on to that, first I want to thank Carfax for all their work on it as well, because I know they've introduced some new tools to help combat that as well. But from our perspective, late last year actually, in the last legislative session, we actually introduced legislation for the first time that could fine individuals who were re-vinning, illegally vinning, or committing fraud with VINs up to $50,000 for their first offense, up to $100,000 as well, including 6 months in jail as well. So that was the first time that offense had been put forward. It passed the legislation. So we have always been, working not only through legislative means, but also my colleague, Minister Crawford at Service Ontario, has been working with not only the industry, but internally at Service Ontario to continue improving processes and verification processes as well, so we can come down hard on this. But ultimately, for us, it's about making sure that we punish those who do take part in this, create deterrences through legislation, but also then have the resources behind it to be able to enforce and also combat this, which we have shown through whether it's provincial police associations across the province or many of our teams that have auto theft teams that have been put forward across Ontario as well to combat this.
You mentioned Service Ontario. You're probably aware of the charges and the conviction of the people in Service Ontario registering these vehicles. One of the critics was telling us one way to make sure that there is some oversight in the vehicles that they are possibly criminally registering is to have inspections, physical inspections of these vehicles. And Ontario is the only province that we talked to that said they couldn't tell us how many physical inspections they're doing of these new vehicles. Is that a problem?
Well, look, I think we can look at every solution possible to this. I think from our perspective, we've been more than willing to combat and look at all tools possible, whether that be legislative reform to enact harsher penalties to deter those, whether it's working with police agencies across the province and country to combat much of the organized crime that is involved in this. So I will definitely take that back with my colleague, Minister Crawford, and continue that conversation, as well as conversation when it comes to min frauding across all ministers of transportation and registration, because oftentimes you see it could be from varying jurisdictions as well. So look, we have no appetite to have any mercy on those who are stealing these vehicles. We want to come down hard on them. We've passed legislation. We've given enforcement a lot of power on that. We're working internally to increase those provisions in which we can capture those who are trying to commit this fraud. And so we'll continue to do that and put forward more legislation that will help prevent it and any tools possible. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. You're bang on. You can't manage anything unless you measure it. I promise you, they're going to be measured. And throw these guys in jail, too, for a few years. Teach them a lesson.
Hi there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jasmine Gale with the Trillium.
Hi, Jess.
You've said Ontario needs more landfill capacity. So
Yes.
why did you choose the Dresden landfill over every other potential site when the environmental assessment your government promised was not yet done?
Well, things have changed since we did that. It was over a year ago, and we're relying on the U.S. again. Here we go. 40% of all the garbage goes down to the U.S. It takes one phone call from President Trump to say, cut us off, and then what do? We have to be prepared. It's an existing site. We need to expand it, and I'm not going to rely on President Trump any longer. We have to be responsible for our own garbage. We create the garbage, whatever methodology communities and regions want to use. I'm there to support them. So we're going to continue building capacity on that.
And a follow-up for you. Have you ever spoken with the owners of the Dresden dump, their employees, or their lobbyists about expanding the dump? And if so, when?
I don't even know who these guys are, to be honest with you. Someone said their names, but again, I don't look at who owns it, who doesn't. What I look at is the capacity issue that we're facing. And again, we're relying on President Trump to take 40% of our garbage. You know, I say we're going to shut off the electricity. He says we're going to shut off your garbage. And so let's not rely on President Trump any longer. Let's start creating our own ways of dealing with our waste.
Hi there, Musa Imran, Global News Durham. Mr. Premier, since you formed government back in February, this is one of those issues that everyone's kind of been putting pressure on you over and over and over again. Okay, make good on this promise, make good on this promise. Why today specifically?
Why today for the 407
Yes,
road
sir.
tolls? Well, we're announcing our budget. That's going to be part of our budget, so this is a great announcement. This is all about putting money back into taxpayers' pockets. You know, a lot of governments in the past believe it's their money. We don't believe it's our money, the government's money. It's the taxpayers' money. And that's going to put $7,200 back into people's pockets when we get rid of these tolls east of Brock over to 35-115. This is another example of putting money back into people's pockets when we got rid of the 412 and 418 tolls. There will never be tolls as long as we're in government and I'm Premier in the province of Ontario. We're going to continue building our capacity of roads and highways and bridges and transit right across this province.
And where does this fall sort of in the grand scheme of things in terms of your budget as to the level of importance? Do you think there are other things that are more exciting coming up, or is this sort of one of your favorite things so
we
far?
always have really exciting budgets. I'm so fortunate to have a great finance minister. He's constantly looking at finding places financially. We're the best run province in the entire country, thanks to Minister Bethlenfalvy's leadership. And again, I'll give a shout out to the President of Treasury, and that's Caroline Mulroney. They work hand in hand, and this is another exciting day for the taxpayers of Ontario.
This will be the last reporter.
Hello, Jamie with City TV. Yeah, thanks for noticing the hair. I've gotten a lot of response from that. But anyhow, I'm going back to the Honda. The Honda, it's a $15 billion investment. Honda Canada has confirmed that they're putting it off for 2 years.
Yes.
How it hurts, I understand that, but is there anything we can do, or have you been in negotiations with Honda?
Well, I've talked to them, and they've reassured me that we're going to continue producing, incredible vehicles out of Alliston and their plant there. They said they're going to continue moving on with the expansion. It's really it comes down to us producing incredible vehicles at a lower cost, high quality. We can compete against anyone, no matter if it's the GMs or the Ford that is retooling, or Stellantis, Toyota, or Honda. We outproduce the rest of the world. So we want to attract more vehicles, manufacturers here, along with other components. And that's exactly what we're doing.
And then the Stellantis, or the battery plant in St. Thomas. How have the tariffs, the threats of the tariffs war affected that project?
I'm pretty confident over the next little while. Seems like President Trump's making deals with everyone. I'm very confident Prime Minister Carney is going to be there and working alongside President Trump to come up with a mutually rewarding relationship when it comes to tariffs. That's what we look forward to. And I always say you can't unscramble an egg that's been around since 1965. You have to make the omelet a lot larger. And that's what we're proposing down with President Trump. But, geez, I'm just starting to warm up. Do you have any other questions, Jamie? I'm going to call you Slick. When my OPP officers tell me, boy, he looks great, it says everything. 407. Yeah. So great question. So, we're looking at every option out there, but the 407, all 400 series highways will be maxed out in the next 10 years. We know 401's maxed out. I drive by there at midnight, and I don't know where everyone's going. It's absolutely jammed at midnight. So we're going to move forward with that, that tunnel. It's going to be a great project. And I just want to remind everyone, there was naysayers and our team remembers this. When we first came into office in 2018, by 2019, we rolled out our plan to build transit. And we decided to build the largest transit expansion in North America. And right now we're spending, I believe it's about $70 billion on transit, Prab, if I'm not mistaken, and Peter. And everyone says, oh, back of a napkin. Remember the old back of a napkin comments? Well, that back of a napkin is just incredible. In 6 years, they went out and got the bids, they got the boring machines, they were boring along Eglinton West ahead of time by about 4 to 6 weeks. We have Scarborough going, we're getting the Young North going, the Ontario line is going, and those are really complicated digs, really complicated. And I'm looking at the 401, you know, that's relatively easy compared to going underneath buildings downtown and buying up houses and so on and so forth. So, folks, we're going to get it done. And we're getting it done for our generation, because I look over here, we're all about the same vintage, except a couple of young guys, Lecce and Prab. But we won't be using it, but these guys will be using it. And their kids will be using it, and so on and so forth. So, you know, that's what we're going to do. We're going to, and it's going to create jobs, economic development. It's going to be fabulous. But folks, what a beautiful day, and I'm just very grateful for the Durham team, as I say, the mayors, the chair, all our ministers and MPPs. No one gets more love in this province than Durham does because of our great relationship with our municipal leaders. Thank you. God bless you. And we look forward to riding free on June the 1st, just east of Brock. Thank you.